Just a quick announcement, guys. I mentioned yesterday our tickets for the movie 2000 Mules are now up on the website, 2000mules.com. Just the number 2000mules.com. You can buy theater tickets for the two showings, which are May 2nd and May 4th at the 7 p.m. showing. 300 theaters around the country. You can search by state. You can also buy tickets for the virtual premiere. That's the other big event of the premiere week. And it's going to be fantastic. It's out of a fabulous theater in Vegas. You see the movie and also a live Q&A to follow. Same price as the movie ticket. So this is something that you should consider. And by the way, a small number of people, 300 people at the max, are going to be able to participate in the virtual premiere, except they won't be virtual. They'll be right there. You'll be there in person. So if you want to make a Vegas sort of weekend out of it, you totally can. Saturday, May 7th is the virtual premiere just outside of Las Vegas. And again, all the details are on 2000mules.com. Just click on the virtual premiere. It'll give you the option to consider the VIP tickets, which are more expensive, or just buy a normal ticket and watch on any device from where you are at home. Now, let me turn to what's going on with mask mandates. Well, the surveys show, by the way, that Americans have really kind of had it with the mask mandates on public transit. Most of the other mandates have sort of already started to fall away, if they haven't fallen away already. TripIt, the travel app, did an interesting kind of poll of its own users. And they found out that a clear majority says enough of the federal mask mandate, we're done. Let's get rid of it and keep it gone. 60% of respondents even said they don't want the COVID testing requirement for international travel. That should be lifted and should be removed. And TripIt, in a kind of little notice about this, basically says this is a, quote, appetite for normalcy. People kind of want to get back to their lives. By the way, this latest variant is contagious, but also mild. In fact, it appears to be the mildest of all the variants. Now, the Biden administration is having none of it. They still kind of pining for the mask mandate. They like mandates in general, anything that forces other people to do things. And as we can see, there's a certain psychology of even some ordinary citizens. These are the kind of nanny types who like to sort of lecture other people. Why don't you have your mask on? Put on your mask. And these are people, you know, they'd be village busybodies in an earlier era. And you can think of the Biden administration as this kind of nanny individual writ large. So the Biden administration is like one big national nanny. It's kind of Uncle Sam has given way to, you know, Aunt Karen. And so the Biden people are running now to the CDC and saying, hey, listen, you know, by the way, if you still kind of want a mask mandate, tell us and we'll file an appeal. They're very angry at this Trump judge, a woman named Catherine Kimball Mizell, who basically said, listen, you guys are making nonsensical arguments for this mandate. First of all, you're appealing to a federal law that empowers the government to take care of, quote, sanitation. And somehow, under some very broad definition of sanitation, you're including a mask mandate. Well, what does a mask mandate have to do exactly with sanitation? Nothing at all. And so down goes the mask mandate, not to mention all kinds of other procedural irregularities that Judge Catherine Mizell pointed to. Now, the Biden administration can appeal, but if they appeal, the fun part is that the appeal goes to the Atlanta-based U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit, which is a conservative-leaning court. And even if by some quasi-miracle the Biden people win there, well, it's going to be appealed to a conservative, not even leaning, a conservative Supreme Court, which has already slapped down Biden mandates. Remember the Biden vaccine mandate for businesses with 100 employees or more? No go, says the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court seems to look very skeptically at the Biden administration's, you know, trust us, we know better, we're the experts. And the Supreme Court is like, well, if you're the experts, you know, you have to actually produce evidence, not only that the mask mandates are necessary, but that they're the only way to go, that the compulsion involved is the right approach. By the way, the airline CEOs and the airlines have their own experts. have all basically said, look, we have filtration systems on the airplanes, and those do a better job in killing off viruses, including the COVID virus, than essentially strapping a mask across your face. Not to mention the irritation and inconvenience, confrontations, and all the other issues. Debbie, for example, has claustrophobia. It's already bad enough for her to be cooped up in a small spot in a plane. Then you put on a mask, and for a short plane flight, it can be endured, but for long plane flights, she just won't really do it. And so I think what we're seeing here is COVID is turning a corner. And people are saying, not that they're somehow not going to get it, but if they get it, okay, well, they're going to have to live with it. Maybe we're going to have to live with COVID in some form for the foreseeable future. The good news is that freedom is starting to peek its face out from under the mask, from behind the mask. And for those of us who use airports a lot and walk around airports a lot, it's just an exhilarating feeling. Let's call it the feeling of freedom.